Well, look who we have here. Raylene Nuanez. I say Nuanez because I do the nya, but Nuanez. How do you pronounce it?
Nuanced.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, maybe there's no Enya. Sorry about that. Anyway, we've missed you. She is
Thank
our
you.
astrology guru. But today we're going to talk about a different topic with Raylene, and that would be about the Virginia Varginha UFO incident. Now, I watched a documentary about this that was really, what was it called? The Close Encounter, something like that. That was quite fascinating. I didn't watch all of it because it expired and I didn't want to have to pay for it again. But anyway, let me tell you guys a little bit about this UFO incident. This involves a series of events in 1996 when residents of Virginia, not Virginia, Brazil, claim seeing one or more strange creatures and at least one unidentified flying object, UFO. Other associated claims include the capture of one or more extraterrestrial beings by the Brazilian authorities, animal fatalities at a zoo, and a woman impregnated by an extraterrestrial. Kinky. Anyway, so we have questions that we have collected, that Paula has collected from the community. So, hi, Erik, I love you. You ready to rock and roll?
Erik says hello, everybody. And I'd also like to say hi to everybody. Thank you for watching. You are hilarious. I see where Erik gets his personality from.
Uh
He's over
oh.
here.
Oh.
Pinky.
All right. So, well, we'll go ahead and begin then. And then at the very end, stay tuned because she's going to give you a little bit more about herself and how to contact her. Okay, Raylene. All right, was this Virginia UFO incident true? I mean, God, the documentary is like
Yes.
incredible. Was it true? At least parts of
Yes.
it. Can you tell me?
Majority of it is true.
Well, maybe Erik, you can bring a representative of these aliens forward. One was apparently these three girls were walking and they saw this creature huddled in a fetal position, sweating, and it was obviously looked like an ET, and so scared, and communicated telepathically to the girls, "Help me, help me, help me!" It looks very ill. Um, but maybe you can get him to come forward. I think he died. Yeah, they took the body to some sort of facility and they interviewed the doctor that was required by the government officials to x-ray him through the body bag, and he said the smell was so awful that they couldn't get it out of their nose for months. Anybody who was in contact with it, including these girls, I think. And so anyway, they had to it first started with one hospital. They said, get out, bye bye. And so they took it to another bigger hospital, and I don't know what they found. X-rays can go through body bags, but it was quite compelling. So you want to bring maybe him forward, Erik, or any kind of representative for this from this, as far as aliens are concerned, from this incident?
Yeah. There's several beings that are coming forward. The being did pass away, and the way that they translate information is not like spirit. It's very heavy, and it almost amplifies in your mind. Spirit, it's a lot softer. So I'm asking Erik to do the translating, but we do have three beings that are coming here. One of them is the one that you're speaking of that did pass away. He was in distress, and this is
Yeah.
why he was reaching out for help. He's showing a lot of distress taking place. It does not look like he passed away due to the incident. It was human that
Oh,
event
killed
essentially
him.
caused the death.
That sounds
Um,
right. Yeah.
and so there's a lot of things that are not being spoken about this event from the government side. Um, and the reason why it's not being spoken is because they're trying to protect humankind from what they know and what has been found about the type of visitations and experiences that humankind is receiving. Now, there's a female and a male. The female is saying they are worried about the way that we will respond to these events. Not all are positive, some are negative, such as animal mutilations, killings, people being abducted. It's not just the animals, it's also connected to harming people. And so
Why?
there's good and there's
Why?
bad.
Why is that research for research purposes?
Research,
Or? Okay.
it all comes down to research. And Erik is saying, look at it as animals that we have here, monkeys, and look at the labs that we have testing on the monkeys.
Oh yeah.
Well, extraterrestrial, they look at us as the animal,
Lab
and
rat.
they are simply exactly. He says, vice versa. That's the analogy that you can look at it as why it's taking place.
Because there are, I mean, there was a documentary about these animal mutilations. It was incredible. It's like, first of all, one person that touched one of the mutilated bodies of the cow, I think it was, thought it was super sick, but it had a very strange smell, like some chemical, but also all the everything was completely, all the organs were removed from the animal except the heart, which was removed but then placed back in, and some other stuff that was very strange. So why were you mutilating, like, you're researching cows? What were you expecting to find out?
The specific being is not, the three that are here are not taking credit for um, the abductions or the mutilations, but
Okay.
they are connected to the team that does this.
Okay.
And she's, speak one at a time, please. They're saying that it's all for research. They're not intending to cause harm to the animal race or the human race by decreasing our numbers. They're speaking very nonchalant, and they're saying that our numbers are very large here, and it's almost as if it's not affecting the population, but
Drop
that's
in the bucket. Who
beside the
cares?
point.
Well, what are they trying to, what benefits are they trying to gain from their research?
How they can use the DNA to help their race. A lot of their race is no longer able to conceive, and
Oh,
so they're needing to look at alternatives to help bring this naturally back into their life, their race.
okay. Well, why are you not able to conceive anymore? Your race.
Radiation, chemicals,
Mm. Oh,
their organs are physically damaged,
oh,
their bodies are physically damaged. They live a lot longer than the human race does.
oh,
And so even um, mammals, their lifespan is shorter, and the bodies that these creatures carry us is much more healthier and is much more sturdier. It's almost like organ transplant, what she's explaining,
oh,
putting it into a different being and it fitting with them. They're being
yeah,
able to
yeah.
organ transplant.
Because they did cut the genitals off of the bulls, I think, too. Uh, so, uh, nice. So, are you trying? So, are you trying to do this also with your animal population? Is that, I mean, are you trying to create half cow, half alien? I mean, why the cattle and goats, or I don't know what else?
So she says not exactly like a half cow and half alien, but extracting medicine from organs and
Oh,
creating like a medication for them. It almost sounds like stem cell therapy, like taking cells out of
oh,
something
yeah.
and using whether it's the blood or the cells for their own benefit.
Okay.
Nothing is benefiting obviously the human race or the animal race that we have on earth.
So why was the one who deceased, or why was he in distress? What happened? Was there a UFO
There was
crash or
mhm,
something? Okay.
there was an accident.
Tell me
And the
about that.
smell that they're speaking of is extremely accurate. Even if there wasn't an accident or an illness, they naturally carry a very horrific smell to them.
Okay.
And so, and it's not that they don't bathe. Of course, they don't bathe the way that we do, but their skin puts off an odor due to what they are exposed to.
What do you mean?
The
Because of chemicals and
radiation,
radiation? Oh, I got you. Oh. Well, you
chemicals.
probably think it smells like perfume, right? Do you find it noxious too?
Yes.
Oh boy. Secret made for a woman can be used by a man. Anyway,
Right.
we'll go on. As a deodorant.
You know, they don't show any remorse at all. It's
About
almost
the
as if they
healing.
don't have feelings connected to what they're doing. They're so connected to keeping their race alive. That is what their main focus is on.
How long is the average lifespan for you guys? Not the animals, but
Thousands of years.
oh wow. Ugh. I'd get bored after a while. How can you deal with that? It's like, oh my God, how much more time is left here? All right. If we as humans harmed your group with cruelty, apologies. This person's question is, where are you from? Our galaxy or beyond? Or what star system? Or maybe we don't have the name of it. Oh.
We are aware of their star system. It is not a star system that is studied or that there's not a lot known about it. It's very large. She's showing me it is, in terms of planets, it's going to be by Jupiter.
Oh,
But name that we can relate to, there's not a name that identifies with it for us.
okay,
She's
but it's
also
not in our
acknowledging,
it's not in our solar system, is it? Your planet? Okay, but
no,
kind of like a Jupiter type planet. Is that what you're saying?
nope, it's small. It's by like Jupiter. So I said, yes, actually, it would be within our solar system because it's by
Oh, okay.
Jupiter.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
but it is not as big as Jupiter. I would consider this more of a star versus planet.
Okay. What
Um,
happened to your planet? Or you live on a star? There's no stars around Jupiter. Can you clarify that, Eric?
I would have to say it's like a star because it's
Okay.
not as large as Jupiter,
Oh, okay.
but
Maybe
it's
it's like a
it's around that
moon.
surrounding area.
Like a moon?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Did you travel here? Time travel via no time, no space, or via a vehicle? Sounds like you traveled with a vehicle, right?
She likes your personality, and yes, this is through a vehicle. Um, what's safer for them is through time and space, like time travel.
Okay.
Um, and that is something that they usually prefer. But when they have to be tangible, they have to use a vehicle.
Yeah.
And so they take the risk in that. She's acknowledging your apologies for harming their race from your kind if it had happened. She says that it's not something that she has ever experienced. And so she's saying thank you for that. You're one of a
Oh.
kind.
Oh, you're welcome. So this vehicle traveled just the regular way or through time space? No time, no space, as this person puts it.
Through time and space.
Okay.
But so there's two different, there's like, think of time travel, the best way to interpret this. So when you think of time travel, think of getting into this object and
Mhm.
pushing a button and being able to get there instantaneously, right?
Yeah.
And then when you think of having something tangible that you're driving there, you're still driving through time and space, but it's different. It's almost like linear time, where time is non-existent, but
Yeah.
it's still a factor. I don't know if that even makes sense.
Is it like this? Like here is Earth and here's you guys, Can it be like this and you go through in this way? Something
Yes,
like that, right?
like a loophole.
Or yeah, okay. Uh, what made your vehicle crash? Why did it crash?
Weather.
Oh, really? Like a T-storm or a tornado, hurricane? Just
She's showing the impact of coming into like the atmosphere of Earth,
okay.
the weather right in between there, and adjusting from
Whoa.
space coming in. There was a major heat change. She's
Oh
showing heat.
yeah. Yeah, just the friction of going through our atmosphere, probably, right?
Yes,
Had had you guys traveled to Earth before? I mean, if so, you would have known that would be a problem.
many times they have traveled, um, but she's saying the weather is something that fluctuates.
Oh, okay.
It's a like the temperatures here on Earth. Are we going to be
Yeah.
in a very hot season, or are we going to be in our winter seasons?
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
it fluctuates.
Okay. Uh, where were you headed? Was Brazil your intended destination, or you were headed somewhere else?
Brazil was the intended destination.
And why?
It sounds horrible, but she says for parts,
Okay. Like what kind of parts? Animal parts? Human parts?
both,
Oh God. Did you?
and also something with the earth, uh, some form of mineral.
Okay, what mineral?
It says black.
Okay.
Um, it kind of looks like lava to me.
Okay.
It has a like a lava formation to it.
Mm.
I'm not sure if lava is what it is. I don't think it
It's
is.
a black
It's
mineral. What
yeah.
do you need that for?
She's showing like gas, what we would use as gas to
Okay.
start a car. It's fuel.
Okay. Was it like coal? Black coal?
Yes,
Maybe something like that?
cool.
You're ruining our atmosphere with your coal burning. Hope you use clean coal technology. Anyway, so
It's not the way that we use it.
okay, okay. Have you harvested human parts before? And so how did you get away with that with nobody knowing? Did you like rob it from gravesites
Your
or things like that? Or
She says that your population is so big, it's easy to do it.
okay,
It's not something that is a problem. Um, Even with animals, there will be a very small concern about it, but it will fade away. So it's something that can be done
yeah, I can see that.
continuously or repetitively.
Yeah. What kind of parts did you prefer to harvest? Not you, but whoever was doing it.
Kidneys, ovaries, productive parts.
Okay, reproduction part. Okay. All right. Were you looking for something specific in that particular village, town, whatever it is, Varginha? Or was that just where you crashed in Brazil?
The crash was not intended.
Yeah, I understand. But were you looking for something specific in this Varginha, maybe it is, I don't know. I should say Varginha. Or were you going some were you looking for another to find something in another town or village, etc.? Yeah.
So there was not a specific person or a specific village that was targeted.
Okay.
This is more of spontaneous.
Okay. All right.
They do look for people that are single. They don't try and target like groups. The
Okay.
only groups that they do target is like animals, a zoo, um, a huge herd of cows.
Yeah.
Animals are not as important as humans are. So she's explaining that she can do larger things. Their group, their kind can do
Yeah.
larger groups with animals. Humans, they are smart about it, so to speak, and they single out individuals.
Yeah. Don't go alone, people. How many were in your group that crashed?
So she's showing me a total of 6 people,
Okay.
6 beings.
Mhm. The female, what was your job? Oh, go ahead. I think you could say something else.
Um, she's she's talking about the devastation that it's caused for her kind,
Mhm.
because their population was not very large to begin with, and
Yeah.
so it's brought on devastation for her, um, her kind, and that there is major concern that they will not be able to continue to stay living their race. Her job title, I would say this is more of like a doctor that we can relate to,
Okay.
somebody that knows where body organs are.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
She would do surgery,
Okay.
and she would teach how to do it.
Oh,
She
okay.
is older. She
Mm.
is older, and so she has not done any any recent events,
Okay.
but she has in the past.
Oh, so she's more of a teacher.
Hmm.
Okay. The UFO medical school. All right. So, were you meant to disclose yourself to us so we would start getting used to the reality that we have neighbors in the universe?
No,
I didn't think so. You didn't want to get caught. So, you say
no.
you're from some sort of um, celestial body of some sort around or close to Jupiter, but we've never really seen any evidence of life. So, could you have been in a parallel dimension in that area, maybe? Or were you in the same? Or do y'all was that body that you lived on in the same dimension that Jupiter and the moons and the solar system we are in?
Yeah, it's our solar system
Hmm.
that we are in. Um, she's answering the parallel question, the
Yeah.
different dimension. And that's a no.
Okay.
It's in the dimension of our solar system. Within that solar system, there is many different dimensions, but
Mm.
they're noticeable. They're able to be seen. It's not something that's hidden. She shows like jumping from place to place, but it can still be seen. It's
Okay.
almost like so say we got streets, right? We got streets going north, and then we got streets going north and south, and then east and west.
Right.
It's very much like going north and south, and then another street coming in the middle that's going to be going east and west. They go to different places, but they're still connected to one another, and they're still seeable.
Oh,
So no to the parallel, but yes to the solar system. And this might not be a star. This could be even like a neighboring planet. I don't think planet's even the right word because it's not very large.
it's some celestial
Uh,
body. It doesn't make a difference. Do you know whether there is life on the even if there maybe your beings, other beings on the dark side of the moon?
yes,
Wow.
not her beings, but on the
Okay.
dark side of the moon, there is life.
Now you're afraid that your planet will die out. I mean, your numbers are less and less and less, but it seems like you'd be evolved enough to realize that, well, maybe you're not eternal beings. I don't know that there's life after death. Is there life after death for your species, your race?
She's responding with, I am here right now. Yes.
Oh, are you
And
dead? You deceased?
this one is deceased.
Did you die in the crash or something else?
No, she died in the crash. Um, but even the way that she communicates, it's different from spirit.
Oh. Interesting.
It is much different from spirit.
Is it the same afterlife as the humans transition to?
So Eric is answering this question. Yes, there is essentially one afterlife. Their souls hold on to their energy, just like human souls hold on to human energy.
Okay.
And there is an adjustment period. She's still not connected to emotional freedom in the way that we are when we transition.
Oh,
Humans feel like a sense of peace. She's still feeling a sense of loss and
oh,
remorse for what is no longer there that she's not connected to. And her emotions are not like, they're very nonchalant. I want to say she feels very selfish in a way, but it's not that she's intending to put that off.
yeah.
I would say this is how all of them are.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, do you plan to, can you reincarnate like we do? And if so, do you have to go to the same type of, into the body of the same type of being? Or can you become human? Or
She can reincarnate. She does not want to reincarnate. She's still learning. She does not want to be human.
okay.
She doesn't like how short the lifespan is.
Probably don't want to be a cow either, do you?
She enjoys longer times around.
Yeah.
Animals are not her favorite either.
Okay.
Her personality is very dull.
Oh, I'm not inviting you to a party, girl. All right. Do you all come from the same source? Like we have source, our creator, God source. Are you, you beings also come? I mean, everything I think comes from source, but can you verify that?
She said yes.
Okay. How many of you of the 6 died in that crash? I mean, I know 1 died by human means, but the other 5, how did they all die, or did any of them survive?
Some of them were through impact. She's showing 2 survivals. But by the hands of humans, none.
Okay, so ultimately all died. Is that
Yes.
okay.
There was 2 that were studied on for a while, 3 that died on impact, and then she's showing 1 that died shortly after,
Yeah.
not necessarily because of humans, but because of
The wind.
accident,
Yeah.
just not immediate impact.
Okay. Question 11, why the ammonia sulfur smell? We understand that that's from the chemicals and why do you have the chemicals and radiation on your planet that have destroyed your ability to reproduce? What's the origin of that?
Gases in the atmosphere, contamination. It's not something that they are in control of. They
From
don't
what
have
source? Contamination from you guys? Or
natural
from,
gases,
oh, okay, got it.
natural things in the solar system, other planets,
Yeah.
the Big Bang.
Okay. Is Brazil a more popular spot than other places on Earth, or maybe just seems that way?
She's speaking for their kind, yes. It's more favorable.
Why?
They tend to take better care of their health.
Okay.
Um,
Who's they?
the foods, people, animals, what they feed their
Oh,
animals, what
oh,
the people put into their bodies. The functioning is healthier.
okay.
I'm gonna have to go to Brazil.
Yeah. So that means the parts you get are better, in better shape. Is that where the animal
Better quality.
parts? No, better quality, USDA grade. What?
Thank you for not being in Brazil.
Golly. All right. But why, on the space shuttle, we have these tiles that prevent the disintegration of the space shuttle on entry into the atmosphere where all the friction happens. Didn't you guys have that on your spacecraft?
Something similar, yes.
Well, it didn't work. What happened?
She's No, it didn't work. Um, Erik is explaining it like when we have the look at our cars, okay? So you look at the car, you look at the engine, right? The
Mhm.
engine starts. Sometimes there's simple malfunctions in the engine. The
Yeah.
starter goes out. It didn't click right when it was supposed to. It's almost as if the light switch didn't go on immediately and there was a delay. There was a malfunction. And so just like with human vehicles, there is no knowing when it's going to malfunction.
Yeah.
Their vehicle did the same thing.
So is it like a switch? You could switch on some sort of protective shield, and it didn't work. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, to bring it into terms to understand it, yes. It's almost as if you're going into drive, reverse, neutral, landing.
Okay.
It's a gear.
Um, one of the most serious facts of the Varginha case was the death of Corporal Marco Charisse, who was then aged 23. He participated in the capture of the creature that was in distress in the night of January 20th, 1996. He died of generalized infection after being in contact with the ET. What was the real reason behind his death? Did touching your skin or the skin of the being make this gentleman die? Or did we as humans do that to Marco? What happened to Marco?
The humankind did not do it, no. It was, so think of it as if a human, she it was exposed to something that was toxic. Think
Okay.
of it as if COVID, you were exposed to someone who had COVID,
Okay.
but instantaneously, like a million times worse than COVID, right? But
Yeah.
just to put the metaphor out there was an exposure to a toxic virus
Okay.
that killed very quickly.
Wow. So could it also have, like I said, generalized infection? So I'm wondering if whatever the toxin, the virus took out the immune system so that this person died of more than just one microbial infection. Maybe he didn't. I don't know.
Yeah. And virus and infection are not even the right words. It was an exposure. I'm going to say this is more of like chemical radiation. You know how there's people that used to work in like roofing companies or even the army, they would be exposed to, what
Asbestos.
is that?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Right. Right.
It's almost like she's explaining like that, like a chemical of that type
Okay.
of making, but very fast acting.
All right. I got it.
Because the being was not sick or ill. So she's telling me that the translation's not accurate. It's more of an exposure to like
Okay.
asbestos. And I say that word so funny too. So.
Ah, why were the 5 animals found dead in the local zoo after being in well, was it in contact with one of the creatures, or what happened to the 5 animals that were dead in the local zoo? And then one more question after that.
Trauma,
What is it?
trauma,
Trauma. Why?
being exposed, being operated on. There is
Well,
no
obviously by,
sedating when this takes place. It's just very brutal trauma.
but if y'all died, so that must have been beings from another, your race, but from another ship or time travel incident.
Her race, yes, different beings.
Okay.
Uh, she's showing me trauma.
Okay. All right. All right, last question. 26, don't you dare bark at the trash people, sailor, bad girl. 26 years later, James Fox's team attempted to reach retired Corporal Erik Lopez who was with Marco during the capture and drove them both to the hospital. Lopez refused to answer their questions, James Fox's team, I think that's the guy who did the documentary, and threatened to open fire on them for trespassing. Why did he react that way? So this retired corporal, basically when he was a corporal, drove was with Marco during the capture and drove them both, the Bing and Marco, to the hospital. So why
For
is
his safety.
for his safety? He didn't want to answer questions because who would be the threat? The government?
Humans. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. Had he been threatened already before? Erik Lopez?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That is it. That's part one. We got part two eventually. So thank you so much, Raylene. This is fascinating. What do they look like to you, Raylene? And then I want you to give all your information.
So these beings, they are tall. I would say that they have like a grayish color to them. They look a little bit humanish, but not exactly. You could tell
Okay.
they're not. Their skin looks very thin. Their eyes are far apart from each other. They're not
Okay.
close like humans.
Yeah.
I don't see a mouth like our mouth.
Okay.
It's very much like a line.
Okay. Interesting.
They're not communicating through mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Even when they're alive, it's through the mind.
Okay, yeah. That's what this the one of the three girls who first saw the creature in distress said she got the information telepathically. So that's quite interesting. All right. Raylene, you got the floor.
All right. If you would like to book a session, visit my website at www.angelicastrologicalguidance911.com.
That's a long one, but
I
it's
believe I
memorable.
said that right. We'll put a link in the description. It is a long
Absolutely.
one, and
Absolutely.
it is a new website for me. So
If it's different, let me know so I can let Paula know. All right. Thank you guys. Be sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification button because you don't want to miss part two. And maybe there'll be a part three because this is fascinating. All right. Thank you so much. Love you. Love you, Erik. And thank you to the
I
Bings.
love you.
Thank you to the Bings. I'm sorry for your loss, but not sorry for your service. I mean, not happy for your service. All right, Taylor. Thank you. Down, girl. All right. Love
There
you.
is no comment.
Bye bye.